we're streaming, go ahead and comment and say, hey, if you are watching live or if it's the replay, still comment. I will see you. Yeah, okay. We're good on Facebook. I think we're good on YouTube as well. Let me do. Let me know, comment, and say your name. Sometimes it doesn't tell me your name. It just says user. It says hi. All right. Beauty era. Cool. Okay. So we're shared where we need to be. So I want to jump in and go over 5 of my favorite melt-proof tips as we're coming into warmer weather. Or maybe it's just inside that's warmer. So I have an office job during the day, and then I save faces in the evening. But my office was in like the 80s last week. It was insane. Like I was just sweat dripping down my back sitting at my desk. It was not fun, all right? And so when we tend to get warmer, it's really easy for us to feel like we're melting or for our makeup to feel like it's melting. And so I wanted to go live for a few minutes and just share a few of my favorite tips to melt proof. And also melt proof, really bad tan lines like this one that you can see that I have. So pro tip is that if you didn't know this, SPF expires and you should check your expiration dates if you've had it for a minute and you don't know how old it is. One of my favorites now that's new, I did not check my expiration date last weekend and I should have, but one of our new products that just came out, we have a mineral sunscreen that is an SPF 30. It's a facial sunscreen. I love this. So if any of you don't like wearing sunscreen because it feels greasy or oily, or you just tend to not do well wearing sunscreen. Some people are sensitive to it, or you don't like the smell of it, whatever it is. This is a mineral, and most sunscreens are a chemical sunscreen. There's nothing wrong with chemical sunscreen. It's just a different type. But the mineral one, it doesn't have a smell. It doesn't feel greasy. It absorbs quickly. You're not like shiny after. And I love this. So this is, going to help prevent the really bad tan lines. I got sun poisoning last weekend and couldn't put anything on my face while that was healing. And so I might not have actually melted. Definitely felt like I was for the first few days after that, though. So make sure you're wearing a sunscreen. You should be wearing this year round every day, but especially as we're coming into being in the sun, it's getting warmer. So if you don't know about this yet, definitely ask your consultant about our new mineral sunscreen. It is wonderful. I love it. Now some more like makeupy tips about melt proofing. Because I know that's what a lot of you expect when we talk about melt proofing is it gets warmer is that you want to make sure you're wearing a primer. So a primer is going to make your product go on better. It's also going to make it stick better. So it's not just going to like absorb into your skin and then like ooze out when you sweat. So it's almost kind of like a glue. It's not literally a glue, but that's kind of how it works for your base. So for your foundation. And it's clear. It also has an SPF 15 in it. So it's got a little bit of sun protection in it. And it's also going to make your makeup look better because it's going to help even out some of the like texture that we see in our skin otherwise. It's going to help prevent seeing every pore in your face when you put foundation on, things like that. So foundation primer is a must. This is what arguably my favorite makeup product, even though it's not technically a makeup item that you can see when I'm wearing it. You can definitely tell when I'm not wearing it because my makeup doesn't look as good and it moves a lot more. So you want to make sure you're wearing a primer under all of your makeup. I love our CC cream is my go-to, especially when it's warm. And I don't want to deal with putting a full coverage foundation on. I do love, however, that our full coverage foundations are breathable and they're really lightweight. So I don't feel like I've got a bunch of stuff on my face. But if I just want something light, like a tinted moisturizer, this also has an SPF 15 in it. And it comes in 5 colors. So it's really easy to figure out which shade you are. But CC stands for color corrector. So it's going to help correct some of the like redness that you might have in your skin. It's going to even out some of your skin tone. And really, really easy, really fast to put on. And it's gonna help you not feel like you're melting because it's not heavy. Now another thing to think about is our mascara. What kind of mascara are you guys wearing? Is it waterproof? Is it water resistant. And so I lately, I'm throwing it on the ground. I lately have been loving our Lash Love mascara, and this is water resistant. All of our mascaras are water resistant, which means if you get wet or you cry or you sweat, you guys, I just got done at CrossFit and my mascara is still in place. My makeup didn't run. And I definitely got really sweaty. Okay. And so it's water resistant. It's not going to move. Now, if you get super sweaty and then you're rubbing your eyes or you're crying or you're in the rain and you're rubbing your eyes, it's going to move. It's water resistant, not waterproof. Okay. Now, if you want waterproof, we do have a Lash Love in waterproof and it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to budge. Okay. And that one you have to have eye makeup remover to take off. So then if you are ugly crying and rubbing your eyes, waterproof isn't going to move. So that's the difference is that both of them can stand up to it when you're getting wet or sweaty or whatever it is. But waterproof is going to be smudge proof if you rub your face. Water resistant is just resistant to the wet, not you touching them while they're wet. Makes sense? And so you want to make sure you're using either water resistant or waterproof mascara when it's getting hotter, we're getting sweatier, right? And so mascara. And then the final thing is you want to make sure you're setting your face. All right. How many of you are using a setting product? So you have options. There's a setting powder. I love our translucent powder personally. It also comes in a silky setting powder formula that does have a pigment to it. So if you want color, it's got lots of colors. There's light ivory all the way up to deep bronze. All right. And everything in the middle. There's like 16 shades. But I love this one because it's clear. It goes on clear. I know it looks white. It goes on clear. And it's going to keep my face where I put it. That way my eyeballs don't end up down here by the end of the day or after CrossFit, right? And so you can use a setting powder or you can use a setting spray. I sometimes will just kind of combine the two. If I'm really doing a lot of makeup that day and I've got like layers, I will do this in between all of my layers to make sure it's not going anywhere. My face is not moving that day. I'm not sweating through it. I'm not crying it off. All right. And this is also going to help with sweating. And so, one of the makeup artists that I study with actually will take this setting spray and she'll like spray it in her armpits and in some of her more like sweaty areas just to help prevent some of the sweat stains that we tend to get when it gets warmer, because this can help with that. It's also just really refreshing to keep in your car and like spray it occasionally when you start getting hot and you just want a little refresh, because it might not stay like cold, but it does feel cool when you spray it. And so you want to make sure you're finishing either with a powder or a spray. It's going to keep your makeup where you want it until you actually want to take your makeup off. So there are some quick tips for melt proofing. And so you want to make sure we're using an SPF every day. Typically SPF 30 or higher every day for our skincare is what they recommend. But we do have some products with 15, like our primer and our CC cream. You want to make sure you're priming before we put our face on. We want to make sure we're setting it when we're done. We want to use a water resistant or a waterproof mascara, right? And so I hope you learned something. Make sure you comment. That's how we know you watched. It's what gets you entered for our giveaways. And let us know what kind of things that you would want to see next week. We do these every Friday. And we will see you next time. Bye, y'all.